Welcome to WeLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 24, Dowry Demands and Dowry Debts. Topics which we are going to cover in this session are Introduction about the Dowry, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, Legislative efforts to control dowry, and the last is Dowry Debts. Moving towards the first topic, that is the introduction. Introduction of dowry. Dowry is a deep-rooted evil in society. In the olden days, it was customary to give presents to the bridegroom and his family at the time of the marriage. This is used to be the provision for the couple to fall back upon in case of needs. This system started at a time when girls were generally not educated or employed and had less opportunities to supplement family income. As girls were not entitled to the share in the family property, the father, out of affection and other consideration, used to give some cash or kind to the daughter at the time of marriage. Next topic is Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. The object of this act to prohibit the evil practice of giving and taking dowry. This act also aimed at educating the public and eradicating the evil. So now coming towards the definition of dowry, what dowry exactly is. Section 2 of the Dowry Prohibition Act defines dowry to mean any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly by one party to the marriage to the other party to the marriage, or by the parents of either party or by any other person to either party to the marriage, or to any other person at or before or any time after the marriage in connection with the marriage of the parties. Penalty for giving or taking dowry. Penalty number 1 is, if any person after the commencement of this act gives or take or aberts the giving or taking of dowry, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 5 years, and with fine which shall not be less than 15,000, or the amount of the value of such dowry, whichever is more. Number 2 is, however, nothing shall apply to or in relation to presents which are given at the time of marriage to the bride, provided that such presents are entered in a list maintained in accordance with the rules made under the Act. And number 2 is, presents which are given at the time of marriage to the bridegroom, provided that such presents are entered in the list maintained in accordance with the rules made under this Act. Dowry and Central Government Staff. The Central Government Staff has been barred from giving or accepting dowry. The following rules prohibiting the taking or giving of dowry was incorporated in February 1976 in the Central Civil Services. No government servant shall give or take or abet the giving or taking of dowry or demand directly or indirectly from parents or guardians of a bride any dowry. Next is the penalty for demanding dowry. If any person demands directly or indirectly from the parents or other relatives or guardians of the bride, as the case may be, any dowry, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months, but which may extend to 2 years, and with fine, which may extend to 10,000 rupees. Next is ban on advertisement. If any person offers through any advertisement in any newspaper, periodical, journal, or through any other media, any share in his property or of any money or both, or a share in any business or other interest as consideration for the marriage of his son or daughter or any other relative, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months, but which may extend to 5 years, or with fine which may extend to 15,000 rupees. Next, we move towards the punishment under the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. If any person fails to transfer any property as required by subsection 1 within the time limit specified therefore or as required by subsection 3, he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months, but which may extend to 2 years, or with fine which shall not be less than 5,000 rupees, but which may extend to 10,000 rupees, or with both. Now moving towards the case of death. In case of death, when the woman is entitled to dowry property under subsection, when she dies before receiving it, the heirs of the woman shall be entitled to claim it from the person holding it for the time being, provided that where such woman dies within 7 years of her marriage, such property shall, number 1, if she has no children, be transferred to her parents, and number 2, if she has children, be transferred to such children, and pending such transfer be held in trust for such children. Next are the legislative efforts to curtail dowry. In order to deal effectively not only with cases of dowry death but also with cases of currently cruelty to maintain women by their in-laws, amendments were made in the Indian Penal Code and the Code of Criminal Procedure and the Indian Evidence Act. Section 498A IPC. This section put in a simple language. Section 498A of IPC means cruelty to a woman by her husband or any relative of the husband is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 3 years and also with fine. Next is cruelty means. What is the meaning of cruelty? Cruelty is willful conduct of such nature by the husband or any relative of the husband that is likely to drive the woman to commit suicide or cause serious physical or mental moral injury to her. The second definition of cruelty is harassment of a woman by her husband or any relative of her husband with view of coercing her or any of her relatives to meet any unlawful demand for property. Section 13A of the Evidence Act. According to this Evidence Act, if a woman commits suicide within a period of 7 years from the date of her marriage, it is shown that her husband or any relative of her husband has subjected her to cruelty. In this case, the court may presume that such suicide has been abetted by her husband or such relative of her husband. Last topic is dowry deaths. So let's know what is dowry death. Nature of the death. A death can either be natural accident, suicidal or homicidal. It is for the court to conclude whether the death was homicidal on the basis of the fact on record. Framing of charges against accused. It is the duty of the judge to consider judicially whether, on consideration of the materials on record, it can be said that the accused has been reasonably connected with the offence alleged to have been committed, and on the basis of the said materials, there is a reasonable probability or chance of accused being found guilty of the offence alleged. Next is discharge of an accused. In case of bride burning, it has become the normal practice to involve every member of the family of the in-laws of the girl, even if they are not in any way connected to the offence. However, the court is not expected to be swayed by the sentiments of the complainant family and try to rope in the innocent. Next is the dowry death and section 304B under the IPC. Section 304B of the Indian Penal Code reads as under: where the death of a woman is caused by burns or by bodily injury or occurs otherwise than under normal circumstances within 7 years of her marriage, and it is shown that soon before her death she was subjected to cruelty or harassment by her husband or any relative of her husband for or in connection with any demand for dowry, such death shall be called dowry death, and such husband or relative shall be deemed to have caused her death. Next are the evidence of dowry death. Since the crime of dowry deaths are generally committed in the privacy of residential homes and in secrecy, independent and direct evidence is not easy to collect. This is the reason why the Parliament introduced Section 113A and 113B in the Evidence Act to strengthen the prosecution by permitting presumption to be raised. Now in the last, there are a few questions which are based on this session. Questions are: describe what is dowry. What do you mean by dowry? Question number 2 is: write short notes on evidence of dowry death. That's all for this session. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.